This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not provide medical advice. Always consult your physician or other qualified health provider with any medical questions and never delay care because of something you hear on this podcast. Welcome to Prostate Cancer Real Talk. Did you know that 1 out of 8 U.S. men will be affected by prostate cancer? And Black men are 50% more likely to be diagnosed and twice as likely to die from it. Meet Ellen Shea, a married couple impacted by prostate cancer who have faced it, fought it, and defeated it. Join in now where we answer questions, share personal stories, and fellowship in our safe, judgment-free space. Expert guests include urologists, surgeons, researchers, counselors, nutritionists, patients with their families, and more. If you or someone you know has been impacted by prostate cancer, you've found a welcoming place for information and support. In this episode, we welcome Ralph Jones. Ralph Jones is CEO of Youth Development Systems, Inc., specializing in enhancing academic performance through online chess and STEM training. With decades of experience in finance, system design, teaching, and programming, Mr. Jones faced a prostate cancer diagnosis with a PSA reading of 600. Through care at UI Health in Chicago, he successfully reduced his PSA to near zero and now shares his clinical trial experiences.
I had something called a carcinoid tumor, and that carcinoid tumor had metastasized to my hip. And in the process of going through and analyzing and examining that, I was told I should go and see a urologist. And I wasn't real clear what the issue was, but after I saw the urologist, they told me that they had done an analysis and that I had a prostate cancer that could also be contributing or had metastasized to my hip. And that prostate cancer, they explained to me that the normal range of PSA was from 1 to 4. And they told me mine was 600.
So Ralph, how do you feel now? What can you tell the listeners, what your quality of life is now, having gone from a 600 PSA to, being undetectable, your PSA level? Can you tell the listeners how you feel and what's your quality of life is like?
Well, comparatively speaking, I feel great. Okay. I mean, emotionally and physically, I feel a lot better. That's a hard question for me because I just don't have prostate cancer. I got a carcinoid tumor. I got...
What's that? Explain that, please.
Okay, a carcinoid tumor, a carcinoid is a cancer. But what it does is it causes fatty tissue to grow through organs. So I've had a situation where I've had bowel obstructions because the carcinoid tumor has grown through my intestines. And that's happened twice. I also had colon cancer. Now, in all three of those situations, they took out some of my intestines. So I have less intestines than the average brother, okay? And one of the problems with the carcinoid tumor is that it emits a hormone that aggravates diarrhea. So one of the things that I have is I have chronic problem with diarrhea. And that kind of got into, that affected my choices when it came to the treatment of the prostate cancer. Because when my father went through it, they did the radical, the whole thing, and he was incontinent, totally incontinent. And when it came to offering what the alternative treatment was, I turned down the surgery because having chronic diarrhea and having a situation where you were incontinent just would have left me, as far as I could see, dysfunctional.
I'd like to transition here because we wanted to talk to you about the clinical trial that you're participating in. Even though it is not a prostate cancer specific clinical trial. But one of the things that we hear in our lives, and particularly within the Black community, is a reluctance to participate in clinical trials. And I think that when you and I spoke yesterday, you indicated that you felt like you wanted to influence people's understanding and knowledge and encouragement to participate in these clinical trials because in part it has helped you survive longer and you've benefited from some of the newer medical revelations, the newer medical things that have happened. So tell us a little bit about the clinical trial and how you feel about men participating in these clinical trials, regardless of what they're for, prostate included.
Yeah, well, I would say this, that from my perspective, has history behind it. And from the approach that I think the medical community used to take to uh, older Black men in general and their worth and what kind of treatment they got and uh, economics relative to health and a lot of other things, I think we're making some progress. And what the reason I got into the study was because I have seen what it used to be, and I can project where it can go. And where, as you said, where it can go benefited me. Where it went benefited me greatly because the treatment that I got was not available. Well, it wasn't available for my father, wasn't available for Jack. So if
Jack was
nobody,
Jack was your friend.
Jack was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody participated in any clinical trials, it would not have been available for me. So the reason I'm participating in the trial is because I would like as many people as possible to benefit from the results of the trial. So that's the reason I participate, and that's the reason I would encourage anybody else that had the opportunity. I mean, and I understand the reservations. I understand from years ago, Black people didn't participate in trials to solve Black people's problems. They participated in trials that created crises to benefit somebody else. And they got the bad end of it. And I understand the Tuskegee experiments. I understand all of that. And that does give you pause. But the kind of progress that's been made now, okay, and the kind of progress that you can project would negate that. I mean, you keep it in the back of your mind and you know what happened. But for me, it negates that. And it says that you ought to participate.
Hey, listeners, metastatic prostate cancer means that the cancer has spread from the prostate to other parts of your body. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer, consider a Pfizer clinical trial as your next step. To check your eligibility, go to www.mevpro-studies.com. That's MEVPRO-studies.com. Thank you very much for that. It's meaningful and personal perspective. And hopefully we'll get the word out and men will hear it and they'll respond to it. We had a researcher on a short while ago, Dr. V, we call him. He's also from UI Health, University of Illinois at Chicago. And the point that he made was that it's important for all ethnicities to participate in these clinical trials because as they develop these new treatments and medications and pharmaceuticals and what have you, it's important to have a broad sample size that includes everyone so that they can see. I mean, if they didn't have any Black men in the treatment that you're currently being treated with to lower your levels of testosterone, you know, that may not have worked for you. But because they had an array of ethnicities and people in the trial, they knew that they could forecast how it was going to work for you, people that look like you and people that look like me. And so that was it. They were able to benefit from that. So that's a great example. Shay, you have any questions or anything?
No, Ralph, I just want to thank you for your story. I mean, you're just an amazement. And I hope it encouraged the listeners. We have so many listeners and people that are facing, men that are facing prostate cancer in their 40s and 50s, and they get into like a depression and they kind of think like, oh, this is it. But like you said, you're approaching 80. You know, your quality of life, you know, is still great. You're very involved. I mean, just think about your cognitive skills and just the mobility to do this chess thing. My husband tried, and we played chess, and I tapped out after 5 minutes. I'm like, this is not, I was like, this is not.
You need to sign up for my program.
I do. I actually do. When he told me about that, I said, okay, I think that's something I need to sign up for. Yeah, he tried to, he's a chess player, Ralph. I lasted 5 minutes. So the fact that you're still able, you're doing all of that, God is so great, and I am so amazed, and your story is such an inspiration to me as a wife of a prostate cancer survivor. As a woman, it's very inspirational, and I just hope and pray that our listeners just get so much out of this episode, and that know that your life is not over just because, you know, life may have thrown you a little curveball or cancer may have come in there. And your life is not over, and there's just so much more that they can do in life, and hopefully, you know, the depression will leave them and they will be uplifted and said, look, if Ralph can do everything he's doing, I got a fighting chance.
What I would like for you to do is give you an opportunity to talk about your chess program, because it's very inspirational. It's for young people, and we want to give you an opportunity to talk about that a little bit.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me say this. One of the keys to retention, because we work with a lot of kids that may have focus issues or that kind of thing, is repetition. And one of the we've developed two things. We've developed, which I have a patent pending on, what we call a beginner's chessboard. And around the parameters of the chessboard are diagrams that show how each one of the pieces move. And it shows how to set up the chess pieces and what have you. But after the initial instruction, what it does, it allows the students just to look down, get a reminder of how the pieces move, and get right back in the game. You know, I'm just really proud of that. We also have developed some avatar narrated videos for how each one of the pieces move, some various chess tactics and strategies, and those are available on demand. As a matter of fact, one system we had, you could sit Sometimes there is a long pause between moves when a person are thinking. Well, on our system, what you could do is you could play the video that showed you how to do it, and only you saw the video. So your opponent might have thought you were concentrating, but what you were trying to do was figure out how that piece moved. Because one of the anxieties that kids have is remembering how each piece moves, because chess is so much different than checkers or what have you. But that complexity is one of the things that trains the mind to do what we always preach. Think before you move. Thinking after you move is too late.
Right.
The other thing we try to teach the kids is there's consequences to what you do. And this is whether you playing chess or you're out here in real life. If you don't think about what you're doing, you make a rash judgment, you may pay more for it than you initially thought was ever possible. So this is what we try to teach the kids. And we have an automated system that kids can get, and they can play the computer, they can play each other. When they play each other, the whole game is recorded graphically. So we as administrators can review it, parents can review it, they can review it. But we're very proud of the system, and we've seen the impact. We've seen kids that could not focus for 5 minutes play a chess match for an hour.
And so is there a website or is there a place where people can go to find out a little bit more about your program?
Thank you for asking. Okay. The website is funwithchess.com.
Funwithchess.com.
Funwithchess.com. They can go there. They can find out about the system. They can find out about the chessboard. They got my contact information is there. And if they want to sign up, they have access to the system, then they can do it there.
Just a reminder, to ensure that you stay up to date on the latest episodes from Prostate Cancer Real Talk, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button.
So as we part ways for this particular episode, do you have any final thoughts? Shay, I'll let ladies first. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to make? And then we'll ask you to comment.
I'll just let Ralph just tell the listeners and enlighten the listeners and let them know that cancer does not have to be your end game. It can be your up game, meaning that life is still available and it's an option for you. So Ralph, I'll let you leave the listeners with a word of inspiration.
Well, my inspiration is this: be like Walter Payton. Doesn't matter how big the guy is in front of you, keep your legs moving. Okay? Because you can get around him sooner or later.
Well, Ralph, we really appreciate you sharing your story with us. I know we're going to keep in touch. Ralph Jones, thank you so much.
Well,
Ralph, thank you for being on the podcast, and I'm signing up for the class. You can have prostate cancer, and you could be a winner in chess. Life can still be great. Mr. Ralph Jones, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and God bless you.
I appreciate you. Thank you much.
The study medicine in the MEVPRO clinical trials is designed to block the abnormal EZH2 activity in cells. With the study medicine's help, the abnormal EZH2 no longer promotes cell growth, and the flow of traffic returns to its normal state, and tumor growth is delayed or prevented. The goal of the MEVPRO clinical trials is to determine whether this study medicine, taken as tablets by mouth, is safe and effective. During these clinical trials, you will have regular visits to the study site, and your health and cancer will be closely monitored by medical professionals. You may experience side effects from the study medicine, such as diarrhea and fatigue. More information will be provided during the informed consent process.
To find out more information on the guest you just heard or previous guests and a list of Prostate Cancer Real Talk episodes, visit our website, prostatecancerrealtalk.com. And if you have a question, comment, or if you would like to share your story, Send Ellen Shay an email, LandShay@ProstateCancerRealTalk.com. That's LEL and Shay, SHAY, at ProstateCancerRealTalk.com.